Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this toast coaster. For this pattern, you're going to need two different types of yarns. Both of them are going to be category 4. The first one I used is this light brown color, and then for the crust I used a dark brown color. I also used a 3.5mm crochet hook and a darning needle and some scissors. I did show you how to use just the hook if you don't have a darning needle. So if you don't have this, that's totally fine. But that's all you're going to be needing. Let's go ahead and begin. Okay, to start off our toast coaster, we're going to go ahead and grab our light brown yarn. So the main part of our toast is going to be what we're working on first. So go ahead and grab your light brown yarn, and we're going to start off with a slip knot. So to make a slip knot, you're going to find the end of your yarn, and you're going to get your index finger and your middle finger. And what you're going to do is you're just going to take this end of yarn and you're just going to lightly place it on top of your two fingers, like so. And make sure that you have a little bit hanging down. Make sure that it's not too close to your index finger. You want to have some sort of tail. So go ahead and place that over your index finger and your middle finger, and then you're going to want to hold it down with your thumb so it doesn't move. And then we have the actual working strand of yarn, so the longer end, and you're just going to take that and you're going to wrap it around your index finger and your middle finger like this. So you have your short end at the bottom of the X and then the longer end at the top of your X. And now what you're going to do is you're going to grab your hook and you're going to place it underneath this part of your yarn. And then you're going to go to the back, grab the yarn, and pull it through like so. And then you can slowly remove your index finger and your middle finger, and then you can pull on these two strands of yarn like so, and then there you have your slip knot. And now you can just slowly pull the sides so you can adjust it to your hook size. And make sure that it's not too tight or too loose because you want it to comfortably move around your hook like so. Okay, now we can go ahead and begin with our chains. For this coaster, I started off with a chain of 14. So you're gonna go ahead and make a chain, and to do that, you're gonna go ahead and take your hook and bring it underneath the yarn like so. And then you're gonna turn your hook downwards and pull that yarn through the loop that was on your hook. And now you have another loop on your hook. And there is your first chain. And we're going to do a total of 14 of those. So again, take your hook, bring it underneath the yarn, turn your hook downwards so you have a good grip on your yarn, and pull that yarn through the loop that was originally on your hook. And now you have a new loop on your hook. And this is your second chain. So this is chain number 1, chain number 2. Okay? So again, bring your yarn underneath the working yarn, turn your hook downwards, and pull it through. There's 3. Take your hook, bring it underneath, turn your hook downwards, and pull it through. And again, take your hook, bring it underneath the yarn, turn your loop downwards, turn your hook downwards, and pull it through. Okay, and you're going to continue doing that until you have a total of 14 chains. If making a chain is a little difficult, then it might be the way you're holding your yarn. It does take some getting used to, but you want to hold your working, the chains that you're working with your thumb and your middle finger, so you always have a nice grip on it, so it's not moving around and that you have a hard time grabbing your hook, because that way you're working, whatever you're working on is going to be moving around. So you're going to have to hold it down with your thumb and your middle finger, and then I like to hold my yarn with my index finger. And this does take a little bit of time to get used to, but I just find it to be the easiest. But again, we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a total of 5 chains, and we're going to do a total of 14. So go ahead and continue chaining until you get to a total of 14 chains, and I will meet you when I'm done. Okay, Once you have your 14 chains, we're going to start off with our very first row of single crochet stitches. So to do a single crochet, what you want to do is you want to find the second chain from your hook. So the loop on your hook does not count as a chain. This little V that you see here is a chain, but we're going to skip the first one and we're going to work into the second one. Okay? And what I like to do is I like to turn my chains the other way and find the back bumps for the first row, because it makes it easier when we're going to be making the border of our toast. It's going to be easier to work into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the first bump that I see, and I'm going to work into the second bump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hook and insert it into the second bump, like so. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my yarn, as I've been doing, turn my hook downwards, and pull it through that loop. And now we have 2 on our hook. And now we're going to go ahead and take our yarn again, turn our hook downwards, and we're going to pull it through both of these loops that are on our hook. And that is how you make a single crochet stitch. Okay, now go ahead and find the next bump after. So this is the one that we just worked in. So we're going to skip this one and work in this one. We're going to insert our hook into that bump, grab yarn, and pull it through that loop. We have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to go ahead and grab yarn and pull it through both of them. And I'm going to show that to you a couple more times. So find your next bump. The bump that you worked into should have like a hole under it, because what you just made is pulling on it. So don't work into that one, work into the bump that's after it. So this one right over here. So again, we just worked into this one. We're going to insert our hook into the one right after. So insert your hook. You're going to grab your yarn and pull it through that bump. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to grab yarn, turn our hook downwards, and pull through both of them. Okay, that is our 3rd single crochet stitch. So find your next bump, insert your hook into that bump, grab yarn, pull it through that bump. You have 2 loops on your hook, grab yarn, and pull it through both of them. Okay, now we have 4 single crochet stitches. I'm going to show you about 2 more. Find your next bump, insert your hook into that bump, grab yarn, pull it through the bump. You have 2 loops on your hook, grab yarn, and pull through 2. I'm going to show you one more time. Find your next bump, insert your hook, grab yarn, pull through the bump. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to grab yarn, turn your hook downwards, and pull it through. Okay, and you're going to do that for the remainder of the row, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to do the last 2 so we can finish this row together. But go ahead and do the rest of the bumps, add a single crochet into each of them, and I'll meet you at the end. I do want to say that we started off with a chain of 14, which means we should have 13 single crochets now, because remember we skipped the first chain of the row. So at the end of this round, you should have a total of 13 little V's at the top, which are our single crochet stitches. So go ahead and finish off, and I will meet you when I'm done. Okay, I have 2 more left, and I'm going to do what I've been doing. I'm going to insert my hook into the next bump, grab yarn and pull it through. I have 2 loops on our hook. I'm going to grab yarn and pull through both of them. And now our last one. We're going to insert our hook into the last bump, grab yarn, pull up. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, and pull through 2. And you have just finished your very first row of your toast coaster. And now to finish off, we're going to go ahead and chain 1 to fasten this row off. So yarn over, turn your hook downwards, and pull it through. And now we're going to go ahead and turn our hook around like so. And we're going to do another row of single crochet stitches. So what you want to do is you want to skip the first chain that you made, and you're going to work into the very first actual stitch of the row. And what you're going to be working into is, this is the 3rd stitch, but I'm just showing you, is you're going to work into the V's. So both sides of the V. This is your single crochet stitch, and that's what we're going to be working into for this row. So we are going to go ahead and start off. We're going to skip the chain that we made, and we're going to work into the very first V stitch that we see. And what we're going to do is what we've been doing. We're going to insert our hook into that V, like so. Grab yarn. We're going to pull it through the entire V. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to grab yarn and pull through both of them. Okay? Find the next stitch, your next V. You're going to insert your hook. You're going to grab yarn. You're going to pull it through. Then you have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to grab yarn and pull through both of them. Find your next V. Insert your hook into the V. Grab yarn, pull up. You have 2 loops on your hook. Grab yarn, pull through both of them. I'm going to show you 2 more times. Insert your hook into the next stitch, into the next V. So insert your hook, grab yarn, pull up. You have 2 loops on your hook. Grab yarn, pull through both of them. One more time. Insert your hook into the next stitch. Grab yarn, pull up. You have 2 loops on your hook. Grab yarn, pull through both of them. Do that until you get to the very end, and I will show you the last 2 stitches of this row. Feel free to pause the video or rewind if you need to. Okay, I have 2 stitches left at the very end, and I'm going to do exactly what I've been doing. I'm going to take my hook, I'm going to insert it into the very next stitch, and then I'm going to grab yarn, and I'm going to pull back through that stitch to have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to grab yarn and pull through both of them. And we have 1 more at the end. We're going to go ahead and insert our hook into the last stitch, grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, and pull through 2. And now we're going to go ahead and count our stitches to make sure that we have 13. Because again, we started with a chain of 14. We skipped the first chain when we were doing the first row, and so we should have a total of 13 stitches. So 13 little V's at the top. So let's go ahead and count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Perfect. And now we're going to go ahead and do a chain to finish off this row. So again, yarn over, turn your hook downwards, and pull it through. And now you've officially finished your second row of your toast. And we're going to turn our work around, and we're going to do the exact same thing that we did for the row before. So we're going to skip the chain that we made. We're going to find the first V of the row, but we're skipping the chain, okay? I'm not talking about the loop that's on our hook. I'm talking about this little chain right here. We're going to skip this, and we're going to work into this. So again, skip the chain. We're working into this, okay? So we're going to insert our hook into the first stitch, grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, and pull through 2. Find the next stitch, insert our hook, grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, and pull through 2. Okay, next stitch, insert our hook, grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, and pull through 2. Insert your hook into the very next stitch, grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, and pull through 2. I'm not going as slow on this round because it is the exact same thing as the row before, but we're basically just repeating the part where we insert our hook into the next available stitch or the next available V that you see, and then we grab our working yarn and we pull it back through that V, giving us 2 loops on our hook. Then we're going to grab yarn and we're pulling through both of them. That's basically what we're doing. And you're just going to continue doing your single crochet stitches until you complete this row, and I will go ahead and finish this off camera and I'll meet you when I'm done. Okay, I'm almost done with row 3. I just have one more stitch to do, and I'm going to just insert my hook into that last stitch, grab yarn, pull it through that last stitch. We have 2 loops left, grab yarn, and pull through both of them. And then we're going to finish off with a chain 1. Okay? And for rows 3 through 18, we're basically going to repeat that over and over again. So again, you finish off with a chain, you turn your work around, you skip the chain, and you work into the first official stitch of the round, and you do a single crochet. And you continue doing a single crochet until you get to the end. So we finished row 3 and I've started row 4, and we're just going to do a row of single crochet stitches until you get to row 18. So you're going to do your single crochets, making sure you have a stitch count of 13. When you're done with the row, you chain 1, turn your work, and then you do another row of single crochet stitches, and then chain 1, turn your work, do another row of chain 1 stitches, and you do that until you have a total of 18 single crochet rows. And then after that's done, I will come back and then we'll start working on the little bumps of the toast. So we're working on this right now. We're just going to continue doing the same thing over and over again until we get to this point. And then when we get back here, I'll show you how to do this little curve. And then at the end, we'll do the border of our toast. And I'm just going to go ahead and repeat my rows of single crochet stitches, and I will meet you when I'm done. Feel free to pause the video. Okay, I just finished a total of 14 rounds from start to finish. Earlier I said from the very beginning to the end you should have a total of 18. I will have edited a little text box somewhere saying that it was supposed to be till 14, so you should have a total of 14 rows done so far, not a total of 18. So again, after we finish, you just did the exact same thing, just rows of single crochets over and over again, and we are now finishing off round 14. Okay, so we're just going to finish off really quick with a chain, and we have 14 rows of single crochet stitches. And now we're going to get to the curve part of our bread. And to do that, we're going to turn our work around. We just chained 1 and we're turning our work around. And we're going to start this row off with an increase. So to do an increase, we are just going to do a regular single crochet, except in the very first stitch, we're going to have 2 single crochets. We're going to go ahead and skip the chain that we made, and we're going to insert our hook into the first stitch as we've done so far. So we've inserted our hook. We're going to grab yarn, pull up. We have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to grab yarn and pull through both of them. And now we're going to work into that exact same place again. So insert your hook into that exact same stitch. If you pull on the stitch that you just made, you should see a little hole form. That's where you're going to insert your hook again. So insert your hook into that same spot. grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to grab yarn and pull through both of them. So now we have these 2 stitches in one. And now we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet normally in every single stitch except for the last one. So find your next stitch, insert your hook, grab yarn, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through 2. Find the next stitch, insert your hook, grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn and pull through 2. So we're basically just doing a regular single crochet in the rest of the stitches except for the last one, where we will once again do an increase. So the only thing different about this row are the first and the last stitches. The first stitch we did an increase, and in the last stitch we're going to do an increase. Everything else is the exact same. So just go ahead and pause the video if you need to. I'm just gonna do this. And when we get to the very last stitch, we're gonna do an increase again. So insert your hook, grab yarn, pull up. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, pull through 2. And into that same stitch, we're gonna do one more single crochet. So insert your hook into that exact same place again, grab yarn, pull up. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, and pull through both of them. And that is round number 15, and you should have a total of 16 stitches now. So go ahead and finish off with a chain 1, and then we're going to turn our work around, and we're going to do one more round of increases. So go ahead and find the first stitch of the row, skipping the chain 1 and finding the first actual stitch of the row, and we're going to do another increase in that stitch. So insert your hook into that stitch, grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, and pull through both of them. That is our first stitch of the row. And into that exact same place where we stitched, we're going to do another single crochet. So insert your hook, grab yarn. We have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to grab yarn and pull through both of them. And there we have our increase. And now we're going to do just a regular single crochet in every other stitch until we get to the very end, except for the last stitch. So we're just going to do a regular single crochet in each of the stitches, and we're going to do another increase on the last one. I'm going to go ahead and do the regular stitches, and I'll come back right before I do my last increase. So feel free to pause the video. Okay, I am almost done with this row. I have 1 stitch left at the end, and it might be a little difficult to see, so make sure to pull a little bit so you can see the last V that's there. And we're going to do an increase in that last stitch. So insert your hook into that stitch and do a regular single crochet. And into that same place, we're going to do one more single crochet. And then we're going to finish off with a chain of 1. And for this row, you should have a total of 18 stitches. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and turn our work around. We've already chained 1. And for the next 2 rows, we're going to do just regular single crochets, so no increases. So exactly what we've been doing for these rows at the bottom. Except this time we're going to have a stitch count of 18. So skip the chain, find your first stitch, and make your first single crochet into that stitch. Find your next stitch and do a single crochet. And continue doing this until you get to the end of this row. And when you get to the end of this row, chain 1, turn your work around and do another row of single crochets. So again, we're just doing 2 rows of single crochet stitches, row 17 and 18. And I'm going to do both of those rows off camera. So go ahead and pause the video and I will meet you when I'm done. Don't forget to chain 1 at the end of your rounds, and I will meet you when I'm done. I'm almost done with my second row of single crochet stitches. I'm just finishing off round 18, and I'm just going to chain 1 and then turn my work around. And now we're going to start our decreases. So we just did 2 rows of single crochet stitches, and now we're on row number 19, and it's going to be our first decrease row. So we finished off with a chain 1, and now we're going to start doing a decrease. So a decrease is going to be with our first 2 stitches. So skip the chain, it's going to be the first 2 actual stitches. And to do this, you want to insert your hook into the first stitch and grab some yarn and pull it through. And then you're going to insert your hook into the next stitch. So we have 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to insert our hook into the stitch after. So insert your hook into the second stitch, grab yarn, pull through, and you should have 3 loops on your hook. Now you're not going to grab more yarn. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this yarn that we just pulled up, and we're going to pull it through these 2 back here. So take that yarn and pull it through the other 2, like so. And there you have a decrease. And now we're just going to find the stitch after, and we're going to do a regular single crochet. So we just did a decrease. We're going to find the stitch after, and we're going to do a regular single crochet. And we're going to do a regular single crochet for the rest of this row, and except for the last 2, because we're going to be doing a decrease on the other side too. So go ahead and do your single crochet stitches until you get to the last 2. Feel free to pause the video and I'll show you how to do the last decrease. Okay, I just did my single crochets, and we're at the last 2 of row 19, and we're going to do the exact same thing. In the next available stitch, we're going to insert our hook and grab yarn. And now we're going to take our hook and go directly into the next stitch, which is the last stitch of the row. And we're going to grab yarn and pull up. We have 3 loops on our hook, and we're not going to grab any more yarn. We're going to take this last loop that we just pulled through, and we're going to pull it through the other 2, like so. And then we're going to finish off with a chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to work on our last official row with the light brown yarn, which is also going to be a decrease row. And this is row number 20. Oh, and just for reference, the row that we just did should have a total of 16 stitches in total. So the row that we just did should have a total of 16. And now we're on round number 20. We just chained 1, and we are going to start off with another decrease. So skip the chain, find the first stitch of the row, insert your hook, grab yarn, and pull it through. Then take that hook, find the next stitch, and insert that hook into that stitch. Grab yarn, pull through. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. We're not going to grab yarn from here. We're just going to take the loop that we just pulled through on our hook, and we're going to pull that loop through the other 2. And then we're just going to do regular single crochet stitches for the next 12 stitches, and we are going to be left with 2 stitches at the end. So just do your single crochet stitches, and you can pause the video here. And now we have 2 stitches left. We're going to do another decrease in them. So insert your hook into the first stitch, grab yarn, pull through, take that same hook, insert it into the last stitch of the row, grab yarn, pull through. We're not going to grab yarn anymore. We're going to take that last loop that we just pulled in. We're going to take that loop and we're going to pull it through the other two. And then we are going to chain 1. And now, and make sure to finish off with a chain 1. You're going to need that chain 1 to make sure that your yarn doesn't become undone. And now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and grab your scissors and you're going to cut a strand of yarn. I prefer not cutting too close because it just makes it easier to weave in. So make sure to cut at least a couple of inches. And then you just pull that yarn through and pull it tight. And there you have the bread portion of your coaster. And now we're going to go ahead and work on the crust. Okay, so this is what we have. We have the bread part done, and now we're going to work on the crust part. And what we're going to do is we're going to start from here. We ended off here, so we have this strand of yarn hanging out. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start here, and we're going to work around the border like so. We will do some increases around the corners of the round that we're doing, which I will show you, but I just wanted to do a side-by-side comparison. We're going to start over here. We finished off here. We're going to start on this side, and then we're going to go all the way around and then get back here, and then we're going to finish off, which I will show you what to do right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab our dark brown yarn and we're going to make a slip knot like we did in the very beginning. So again, we're going to go ahead and find the end of our yarn and our index finger and our middle finger. We're going to take this yarn and we're going to bring it in front of our index finger like so. And then we're going to take the longer strand of yarn and we're going to wrap it around our fingers like so. So we have a little cross formation at the top where the smaller strand is at the bottom and the bigger strand is at the top. Then we're going to grab our hook. We're going to bring it through this part of our yarn over here. Grab our yarn and pull it through like so. And then slowly remove the yarn from your fingers and then pull on your yarn to make the knot. And then you can pull the sides together so it's comfortably moving around your hook. And we're going to go ahead and just remove that from our hook and grab our bread. And we're going to place it in to the very first or the very last stitch of our round. So we finished off over here. We're going to go over here to the very first V that we find, and we're going to insert our hook without the yarn attached into that V. Then we're going to take the slip knot that we made and we're going to put it onto our hook, and we're going to pull that through our bread like so. And then we're going to chain 1 to secure it in place, and now we have our yarn connected. And now we're going to go ahead and begin. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and make a single crochet in every single stitch around this top row until we get to the end, including the stitch where we inserted our yarn from. So we inserted our yarn into that first V. We're going to go back into that same V again, grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, and pull through 2. Find the next V, insert your hook, grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn, and pull through 2. Go ahead and do your single crochet stitches until you get to the very end of this top port, and I will go ahead and meet you when I'm done. Okay, I am almost done. I have 1 more stitch left, and I'm going to insert my hook and do a single crochet like we've been doing. And I just want to say that this piece of yarn, you can just keep it next to your work while you make your single crochet stitches with your dark brown yarn, and it will automatically weave it in if you want, or you can just leave this to the side and you can weave it in later. But with that being said, we just finished the top part of our crust, and now what we're going to do is we just finished into our last row. We're just going to go ahead and find the next hole that we can find. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but what you can do is you can sort of stretch out the stitches a little bit and find the next available hole that you see. We just did it in this stitch right over here. The next one is right over here. So you're just going to insert your hook into that hole and do a single crochet stitch. And now into that same exact hole that we did, we're going to do another single crochet stitch. So it's going to be an increase. Go into that same space, grab yarn, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab yarn and pull through 2, and that is our second stitch into that little hole. So that's an increase. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to do a regular single crochet throughout every single stitch until you get to the very end of this side of the bread. So stretch your yarn a little bit, find the next available hole, and it's right over here. So insert your hook into that stitch, grab yarn, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through 2. Stretch your yarn a little bit. This is the next available hole. So you're gonna insert your hook, grab yarn, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through 2. Stretch your yarn a little bit. This is the next available hole that you see, your next available stitch. So insert your hook into that hole, grab your yarn, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through 2. And you're just going to keep stretching it and doing your single crochet stitches. We're not doing an increase or anything, just regular single crochet stitches. And you're just going to do that all the way until you get to the very end. And I will stop a few stitches from the end so I can show you how I finish off. And feel free to continue the video, and I will meet you when I'm done. Okay, I am almost done with this side, and again, all I'm doing is I'm pulling my work. I see that the next hole is right over here, and we're going to use that as our next stitch placement. So we just pull, see that hole, insert our hook, and then do a single crochet stitch into that. Pull, the next hole is right over there, insert your hook, and do a single crochet. Pull, the next hole is over there, insert your hook, do a single crochet. And now we're on our last hole for this row, and into that one we're going to do an increase. So we're going to do 2 single crochets into that one hole. So insert your hook, do a regular single crochet, into that same spot, do another single crochet. And now we are working on the bottom part of our bread. And this part is once again easy because we're just going to be working into the V's like we did. So go ahead and find the first V. Let's focus here, which is going to be right over here. You're going to insert your hook into that V like so, and we're going to do a single crochet. Find the next stitch, insert your hook, grab yarn, pull through, grab yarn, pull through 2 for another single crochet. And then you just do a single crochet in each of these stitches until you get to the very end. Feel free to pause the video and I'll meet you when I'm close to this area over here. Okay, I'm very close to the end. I'm going to just do regular single crochets. And then when we get to the very last stitch of our row, at the bottom, we're going to do an increase into that one. So insert your hook and do a regular single crochet, and then insert your hook into that same exact spot to do another single crochet for an increase. And now we are going to be working this way. And what we're going to do is we are going to do the exact same thing that we did on this side, which is we're going to pull our work a little bit, and whenever we see the holes along the sides, those are the holes that we're going to be working into all the way across here, and then we're just going to do one last increase up here, which I will show you. But for now, just go ahead and find the next available hole that you see. It's right over here. We're going to insert our hook, and do a single crochet. Pull your work. The next available hole is right over here, and then do a single crochet into that one. Pull your work. The next hole is over here. Insert your hook and do a single crochet. Go ahead and do that until you get to the very end. Feel free to pause the video and I will meet you when I'm done. I'm almost done with this side. I'm just going to go ahead and continue. Okay, and then we have a little gap left with one hole left in the middle, and in that last one we're going to do an increase. So insert your hook and make 2 single crochets into that one spot. So I just did one, I'm going into that same one again and doing another single crochet. And now to fasten off, what we want to do is into this very first V that we have, or the very first stitch that we did, we're going to insert our hook like so, grab yarn, and we're going to slip stitch. So we're going to take this yarn, pull it through. We have 2 loops on our hook, and this time we're not going to grab this yarn. We're going to take the exact same yarn that we just pulled through, so this one right over here, and we're going to bring that yarn through the original one on our hook. And then we're going to finish off with a chain 1. And then we're going to cut a few inches of yarn. Don't forget to chain 1, because if you don't, then your work will come undone. So you chain 1, you snip, and then you pull it through. And there is your little piece of toast. And now all that's left to do is weave these in. And I'm going to show you how to weave it in with both a hook and a darning needle, just in case you don't have one. So what we want to do is we want to figure out what the front of our toast is going to be, or like the top part of our coaster that we want to show. And I just want to say that this is the way that we were working this entire time, which means this way is going to be the prettier side. So we were crocheting this way all around while it's facing us. And so this side is prettier than the other side. The other side is the back side, which makes it look less even, I guess you could say, compared to this side. So go ahead and pick whichever side you prefer. I'm just doing based off of what I prefer. So this is going to be the front, and what you want to do is you want to flip it over so the back part of the coaster is facing you. So the part that's going to be facing the bottom, or like the table where your cup is going to be, you're going to flip it over so it's going to be the side you don't see. Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to grab your hook, and I'm going to go ahead and just pick this one. And what I want to do is, this piece of yarn is connected from this way. So what I want to do is I want to take my hook and I want to bring it through the back parts of the stitches. I don't want to bring it in back and forth through the entire thing, because you're going to see the stitches in the front where you weaved it in. So I'm only working into the back loops of our stitches. So this is connected to this part. So I'm going to go a couple stitches over, and I'm going to try to insert my hook into just the back bumps of them. So see how I inserted my hook into these bumps? When I turn it around, you can't see my hook, so my hook isn't going through the front. It's only going through the back bumps of our stitches. And I'm going to do that for the other stitches as well. This is easier to do with a darning needle, but you can do it with your hook. So you just want to go through the back bumps, a few of them. Like so. And then once you get close to your yarn, where your strand of yarn is connected, you can just grab your yarn and you can slowly pull it through the loops, like so. And then you just pull it all the way through. and then you can do it a few times along this row, but I'm just doing this as an example. You can go through a couple stitches again, bring your hook closer, and then pull it through more if you want it to be more fastened off. But for now, I'm just going to snip it off here. And then if you have a darning needle, you can go ahead and just grab that. This one is probably easier to use, and just add on your yarn. And we're doing the exact same thing except just with the needle. So the yarn is connected to this part, so we're going to find some stitches that are close to it, and we are just going to bring it through the bumps, the back bumps, like so. So you just pull it through, push it through all of these, and when you look in the front, you can barely see my needle go through, but it's mostly from the back. You're just going to push that through, and this darning needle is a little thicker, so you're just going to pull that through, and then you have it weaved in. You can weave it in however you prefer. I am just showing you the method that I use, but any method would work. You're just going to pull it through a few times, and then you snip it off. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other two off camera, so feel free to pause the video and I will meet you when I'm done. And after you're done sewing, you have your first toast coaster. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you would like to see next, and if you prefer beginner tutorials or more advanced videos. So feel free to let me know your thoughts, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!